local radio station.
For local people.
103.2 Preston FM.
Your community radio.
Right, brave toddler Rosanna Ogden overcame a life-threatening heart tumour by learning to swim. And Rosanna was just 6 weeks old when she had open heart surgery. Rosanna will swim in aid of British Heart Foundation at David Lloyd Chorley on Saturday the 16th of August. And to tell me more, it's lovely to welcome into the studio Rosanna's father, Mick Ogden. So Mick, a very good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon.
And I must admit, I was looking at the story, as I was saying to you this morning, and looking at the information online, and what a story this is. I mean, can you take us back to hospital and the time that you were given the information about Rosanna? Because how old was she when, you and your wife noticed that there was something wrong, or was that noticed within hospital?
Well, we hadn't noticed. Sanam took her to a doctor for the 6-weekly check, and the doctor with a stethoscope said something doesn't sound right. You'll have to go to hospital tomorrow for a scan. Don't worry about it. You think, that was at Bolton. So we went to Bolton on a Wednesday. They did a scan, said that's the problem, that's a tumour. And it was like, wow, but you can't do nothing here, you must go to Manchester. We'll get an ambulance. We'll go in car, it's quicker. We got to Manchester, that was 3 or 4 o'clock, same day, Wednesday, and 8 o'clock that night she was rushed to Alder with ambulance with blue lights flashing. The operation was done at Thursday dinner, and then she was in ICD, and she came out and came home on Sunday, all stitched up, big massive operation, which at the time it looked real big problem, but as it's looking back now, it was nothing.
And I mean, that must have been a terrible time, that, the fact that you found that out and then you were at Bolton, you then had to go over to Manchester, and then from Manchester over to Liverpool to Alderay. I mean, that must have been a terrible
time. We'll remember that forever, because every time she goes for a check-up scan, it's always the same. We're just going for a scan to make sure, and you still remember that first one when doctor said tumour.
So how long was she then in hospital for?
Operation Thursday, home Sunday.
Yes, as quick as that.
As quick as that. It's unbelievable, with a scar like that, full length. It was a proper big operation. They opened the heart up and took this tumour out of where some main passage in the heart was blocking. They said it was a rhabdomyoma. That was removed. But the main part of the tumour will always stay there because they couldn't take that off. So it's just this big piece, which that was took off. Then she could breathe better, and she got full blood flow, because her blood flow was reduced to 80%, they'd said. So that was a major problem. And if this thing had fallen off, that would have been a major problem, because it would have either gone down into her body or up into her brain where it was positioned.
Dear me. And I believe that they did actually warn you before the operation that she might not actually survive the operation.
Oh yeah, with all forms to sign and everything, which we couldn't believe. 6 weeks old, perfect baby, no problem, never cried. Nearly was always asleep, but it's probably because she was half asleep because there was something wrong with her, which we didn't know. So somebody were watching that day, went doctor in Adlington, listened and said something doesn't quite sound right, and then it was like busiest week of our life, which we'll always remember. But everything's gone out good now, thanks to Alder K2 ward.
K2 ward at Alder.
Yeah, every time we go back for check-up, she always goes and sees all nurses.
Yes.
Hands another newspaper to them to put up on wall.
Yes, because she's quite a star, isn't she, when she comes to local press and newspapers and TV.
TV, website. So that's how, because of the heart problem, somebody once gave us a British Heart Foundation magazine. Somebody we work with said, here, there might be somebody in that, might be interested. And we looked through it and they were a sponsored swim. This was when she was nearly 2. No, she was just above 2. So we took her down to Camberley and she did 50 metres, which were 2 lengths, which she was only 2 weeks over the 2-year-old.
So she would have been how old then?
2 then, but she was already swimming.
Right.
She could swim before she could walk.
How she could swim before? How did that start then? I mean, was it advice that it would help to start swimming? How did the swimming begin?
Somebody said exercise, which how do you get exercise as 6 week, 7 week old child, which at 10 weeks we took her to water babies, and she liked it. She wasn't like any other babies. She never cried, ducking her under water. She didn't cry, she loved it. So that we did till the end of that course, then another one, and then we started going swimming with her, and we noticed fairly quickly, just before her first birthday, she could swim from me to mum. So we went a little bit further apart, a little bit further, and then before you knew it, she could do a width, and then a length.
And enjoy swimming.
Oh yeah, we had some underwater cameras, so we filmed her. A lot of people said, oh, it's cruel doing that, but when you see her face, if you look on YouTube, you can see things. She's happier under there than above, because we don't know what she's thinking when she's underwater. She's more at home down there.
And there is quite a lot of video on YouTube that people can have a look at. If you want to have a look at Rosanna, you can see her in the water. So what was the first then swim that she did to raise the money then, Mick?
The first charity swim was a British Heart Foundation one in Camberley, down in Surrey. She did the 50 metres, which was 2 lengths, and she was by far the youngest child there. I think 13-year-old, next youngest. And we've been to that for the next 3 years. We've been this year, and I think this year she did 400. And she also goes to one in Farnham, and she's done this year 400 metres and then 600 metres in Farnham for the BHF. And then we decided last year, because there's no sponsored swims in the Northwest, or none we know about, we'd organise one ourselves, which if it's a success, it could become annual.
So how often does she swim then?
More or less every day.
And loves swimming, still loves swimming?
Oh yeah, loves it. Yesterday I took her to a local pool and she must have done 20 lengths. Till the end I said, come on, you'll have to come home now, it's tea time. One more, last swim. So, yeah, she loves it.
And what about her health these days? How is she?
Her health, everything's okay. We had her back to Alder last Thursday for an ultrasound scan, and they said everything seems alright, come back in 2 years. So that's good news.
That's right.
So we don't need to go back for a couple of years.
Yeah.
Unless we feel there's something wrong, but I don't think so. She never gets out of energy. She's extremely fit. She can run. She can keep swimming. She can just keep swimming and swimming.
And she's now 4 years of age?
4.5. She starts school in September. The other week she walked up to the swimming pool, which were 4 mile, and then swam for an hour.
Wow.
So that's quite fit.
That's
for
right.
A little one.
And the event that's coming up, it's taking place, it's Saturday, isn't it? Saturday is it the 16th?
of August.
And you say this is the first one that's being held here in the Northwest?
Yeah, this is going to be held under her name. David Lloyd's have kindly donated the use of the pool and the facilities. A few other local businesses have donated bits and pieces for a raffle which we're going to have. There's a local band going to play after the swim, the Monkey Men. So I'm not sure what they're going to play. So it should be a fun evening. All we need is a bit of sun because it's an outside pool.
Ah, right.
We're not doing it on inside because in August you presume weather's going to be good, but we need a bit of change.
And of course, money being raised is to go to the British Heart Foundation.
Yeah, every penny. She's got a Just Giving page or website, whatever you call it. Hopefully we're going to attract 150 swimmers to take part, all getting sponsored. That should raise a bit of extra money. Up to now I think we've got between 70 and possibly 90 people.
So anybody listening in who
fancies a dip
and raising money for a really good cause and come along and meet Rosanna, what better way of raising money than meeting Rosanna and helping get money for British Heart Foundation?
Even if they can only swim a length. It's a length up to 50 lengths. We've limited at 50 lengths because otherwise it might take too long for everybody to swim. So it should be a fun day, or fun night, should I say. It starts at 5.
It's 5 until
8ish, but it's going to be after.
Yeah.
I think people can turn up till 8 to have a swim, and then after that it'll be winding down, depending on how many people turn up.
So at the moment you think you've got how many swimmers lined up?
Between 70 and 90 have confirmed.
So you can still fit quite a few more then in the pool, so we need to get more people to come and join you then.
More than 150 would be good. There's a good raffle after. We've got prizes in the raffle. As I say, there's a band. David Lloyd's are putting a barbecue on. There's rumours that Rebecca Adlington will turn up. We've got to get confirmation of what time and when she'll come, because this month's busy for her. And see how it goes.
So how does Rosanna take all this in a stride? Does she seeing her own videos, seeing her swimming?
She likes watching the videos. I don't think she understands everything what's happening. Yeah, at the swim, all she'll do is she'll just want to swim.
Right.
Until she's done enough. It depends on the pool temperature. If the pool's a bit cold, she doesn't swim as much. Because where we go normally swimming is a hotel, and the pool temperature there is quite high. Some of these outside pools or local public baths, they're a bit cold for her. But we'll see.
So where you were on that day when you were travelling between the hospitals of Bolton, Manchester and Liverpool, and you look back now, what's it like seeing her today?
Well, now it's everybody's well chuffed how she's turned out. She's a good kid, got a good heart, fully fit, and she likes doing this. So.
And I, from what you tell me, I would imagine she keeps you and her mum fit as well with all the swimming. Hey?
It's hard work catching up with her. You've got to cheat, push her that direction, then swim. Then she catches you up.
Were you both swimmers before Rosanna started swimming?
Not really. My wife, she used to swim when she was younger, but I was never a good swimmer. Could swim a long way, but just slow. But she does 2 lengths to your 1.
Great. So there we are. So we need to get people along there, help raise money for British Heart Foundation. And it's at the David Lloyd Chorley, Moss Lane, Whitley Woods, Chorley. And it's Saturday 16th of August 2014. And organised by Rosanna Ogden. How can people find out more or get in touch if they want to come along, or do they just turn up on the day, Mick?
They could turn up. We would prefer them to register, just so we've got a record of who's coming, but at this late stage I don't think that's essential. You can send an email, which the email address is sanamogden@gmail.com, or you could call me on my phone 077 1234 1058, or Twitter, Facebook, or through Rosanna's website, rosannaogden.com. I think there's a link on that, so, or just turn up.
There we are. Okay, well, thank you for coming in the studio today, and good luck with it. And I shall look forward to any more events coming up in the future, you coming into the studio to tell us all about them.
Next year's,
or, well, I don't know, maybe she'll be doing other things between now and next year from what you say. Is she looking forward to going to school? Yeah,
she's looking forward to that. Now nursery's finished, so she's got the school lined up, which is a pity she hadn't started school, because then there might be a few school friends.
That's right.
To come. But we've chose to have it in August, which is a little bit too early.
And they'll be there next year.
They'll be there next year. Hopefully there'll be some swimmers.
Brilliant. Okay, can I thank you, Mick, for coming into the studio today? Thank you.
No problem, it's been a pleasure.
103.2 Preston FM.
Your community, your radio.